That was a scary win from Liverpool. They've beaten Bournemouth 4-0 in the Premier League title race. That is absolutely huge. Going away from home and kind of delivering that performance where Bournemouth have been the informed side in the league for the last few weeks, really. Iriola's turned them into a beautiful ball-playing side that have got a lot of defensive now as well. And Liverpool were able to kind of get out of second gear, wait until the correct moment was to pounce, nick that first goal, and then get 3 more after that. I mean, that is absolutely scary times for Guardiola, scary times for Mikel Arteta as well. We're going to talk about Liverpool, the goals, big players, and some key observations from Liverpool in this game. So make sure you subscribe to the channel for more content like this if you enjoy the video. The observation would be from the first half is that Bournemouth were equal to Liverpool. I think I look at Liverpool as like a great counter-punching boxer, maybe like a Floyd Mayweather on some level, because in the first half, I think Liverpool were kind of gauging what this Bournemouth side were all about. The likes of Christie and Kluivert were linking up in midfield with Cook. Tavernier had a good game. They were able to get through the motions quickly, and actually you saw it in the second half as well, especially when they were even 2 or 3-0 down. You know, Alex Scott had a good chance, and a few others had some good chances because of the midfield creation from Bournemouth. So Bournemouth are a good side. I think if you watch black and white TV and there's no colours, you wouldn't know who were Liverpool, who were Bournemouth, with some of the passages of play from this Bournemouth side. So it's credit to them. And it's credit to Liverpool because they're able to adapt, they're able to overcome the situation of what this Bournemouth side are like. Defensively, they're narrow, compact. There wasn't much space for Núñez to run into. There wasn't much space for Diaz to run into. We saw in the first half kind of Núñez absolutely blaze a chance over, kind of miskicked it. There was another chance where he miskicked it and kind of fouled the player after that as well. So it didn't ever look like Núñez's day today. It never looked like Jota's day today. But this is where Jurgen Klopp has won the Premier League title in the last 6 years in the league, and you can kind of tell why, because he knows that in a Premier League game like this, when the side at home are going to be maybe a little bit fatigued, they're going to have to make changes. In that kind of 49-minute period, Liverpool literally just found that moment and pierced right through the Bournemouth defence. The first time passing, I think it's Curtis Jones that plays it into Jota, that plays it into Núñez. The finish was absolutely exquisite. And the fact that Liverpool are able to not even only be this kind of physical, we always talk about the press with Jurgen Klopp, this kind of physical fit side, but that incisive first time passing is so ruthless. It's not like Guardiola where it's a little bit more kind of passing it around and kind of waiting for the right moment and keeping the ball, being really conservative. This Liverpool side is a dagger to the heart of so many sides this season. There's a reason they've lost so few games. They're so hard to play against. And it's not always about keeping the ball, but it's like when they have the ball, there's always something dangerous. There's always something angular happening. They're always going through lines. They're always breaking lines, breaking ground, getting close to goal. And by the time the ball gets played first time into Núñez's feet, absolutely delectable finish. And for Darwin Núñez, you know, I think sometimes he needs to take a couple of efforts over the bar, and then he'll figure out what's happening. I think he needs 2 or 3 big misses, and then it kind of settles him down a little bit. You know, and maybe some players are like that. Is it enough for someone like Darwin Núñez to be starting for Liverpool, missing those many chances in crucial games? That'll be a debate for another video and another game, because against Bournemouth, you are going to get a few more chances than the other side, especially it's not a Gary O'Neill Bournemouth anymore. It's an Iraola Bournemouth that still want to play football. And that is a credit to Bournemouth because they did look good at points today. Diego Jota gets into the scoring as well with a lovely finish, and he was absolutely dangerous all game today. He's a very, very good poacher, very, very good finisher. I think him staying fit from now to the end of the season with Núñez, if the whole front six can stay fit, they got so many chances of winning the league. They really do, because it's an exciting front three. It's a front three that's confident, a little bit cocky. They're starting to build relationships. I think Diaz playing on the right offered a lot of balance. We don't see that much these days in terms of a right-footed player playing on the right. Obviously, Liverpool fans don't see much of it because of Salah being left-footed. But sometimes it's so nice when you've got a right-footed player that plays on the right, because you can stretch the opposition. Diaz was able to whip things in first time on his right foot. He did that into Núñez a couple of times, into Jota. So Jota is feeding from overlapping kind of crosses from Diaz, and the kind of the workhorse, the kind of the messy situations that Núñez is creating from the left as well. So Jota is getting provided the best of both worlds. Obviously, he gets 2 goals today. It could have been a hat-trick, really. He had so many chances in the second half. And obviously makes it a brace in the 79th minute as well. So to get Jota scoring these kind of... Every time that Núñez misses a chance, you feel that Jota would have scored that. And when he gets those chances, Jota scores them. So Jota's almost finishing the chances Núñez doesn't finish. And I think Núñez offers an aspect to the game that Jota doesn't quite have, which is, height, physicality. He's a little bit rugged, a little bit aggressive in the challenge. He's a little bit like Luis Suarez, obviously from Uruguay as well. So Núñez offers and complements a lot to what Jota is providing. And then you got Diaz to add that in, who's a bit of a mixture of both, really. It was a very, very good forward line performance from Liverpool, in my opinion. I have to shout out the midfield, because this midfield, we're talking about Jordan Henderson going to Ajax, and we're talking about Fabinho, these great players of yesteryear for Liverpool now, in the past. That Elliott, McAllister, Curtis Jones midfield looks like the Champions League winning midfield for Liverpool. It looks like the Premier League winning midfield for Liverpool. A midfield that wasn't always the best on the ball, wasn't always the best at keeping the ball. It didn't need to. It was the best at working hard off the ball. It was the best at finding the right pass at the right moment. It's not about having 80% possession for Jurgen Klopp, even though that does come as well. They had a lot of possession today. But it's about finding that first-time pass into Salah that breaks all kind of nervousness. It breaks all caution. And it goes straight to the heart of the matter. They go straight to the number one target, which is the goal. And I think that's the beautiful thing about Jurgen Klopp. It's ambitious football. And Curtis Jones, McAllister and Elliott today were always finding their man first time. I thought their delivery was absolutely superb. We saw that from Curtis Jones as well. Alexis McAllister, underrated performance today, covered ground very, very well. His role isn't to be the enforcer. They're going to have to bring in people, in my opinion. Obviously, Endo has been brought in, but they're going to have to bring in people long-term to be that defensive enforcer. He isn't that, Alexis McAllister. But the way that midfield three was ticking today and very balanced on the ball was very, very good, in my opinion. Liverpool won 4-0 away from home. They've lost, one game in the league all season? And honestly, I would never say this on this channel. I'm the last person that would ever say, it could have been a win if this hadn't have happened or that hadn't happened. If Van Dijk hadn't had his knee broken or whatever, then Liverpool would have won the league this season or whatever. I think a load of those arguments are really pointless in football. But there's one argument I will literally go to the grave saying. I don't even care that much. I do about VAR, and that's the Spurs game. I think Liverpool would have won that game easily against that Spurs side, especially how defensively frail Spurs are. The goal from Diaz was perfectly good, and they would have been so far in all 4 competitions that they're in and not lost a game halfway through the season is the Premier League. That's the reality. So it's very, very interesting in that regard. It is one game. Yeah, they've only lost 1 game all season. It's absolutely scary times at Liverpool. I'll be breaking down Liverpool a little bit more tomorrow, along with Ivan Toney's return and obviously Arsenal as well. But very keen to what you think in the comments down below. If you're a Liverpool fan, if you're someone that just watched the Bournemouth-Liverpool game, again, you have to give massive credit to where Bournemouth are with Iriola, that they're able to go toe-to-toe with Liverpool. I think Bournemouth have to be very, very careful and cautious that the defensive rot of losing 4 goals, they have to be a lot more defensively minded in their next game, in my opinion. And Liverpool, on the other hand, I mean, they've got a game with Arsenal coming up. I mean, if this kind of Liverpool side rock up at Arsenal and do that, that'll be a massive flagship moment in this Premier League title race. And they're more than capable of doing it. They've not lost to Arsenal already in the FA Cup. They've beat. They drew with City. Could have maybe even won that game. This Liverpool side are frustratingly a very, very scary proposition. So very keen to what you think in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Obviously, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you very, very soon.